Eala's mixed doubles campaign at the 2026 U.S. Open ended far sooner than anyone expected. The 21-year-old Filipina teamed up with Canadian star Felix Auger-Aliassime, but their opening round match at Louis Armstrong Stadium lasted only about 39 minutes. The crowd, however, had already made Eala one of the biggest attractions at Flushing Meadows. Thousands of Filipino supporters filled the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center, waving Philippine flags and cheering her name. Eala and Auger-Aliassime actually started with promise. They won the opening game and briefly looked capable of living up to the attention surrounding their wild card partnership. Then the match quickly slipped away. Alina Svitolina and Gael Monfils, the married Ukrainian-French pair, found their rhythm and controlled the contest. They dropped only one of the next 9 games, eventually completing a 4-1 victory. The numbers showed just how difficult the match had been. Eala and Auger-Aliassime made 8 unforced errors, compared with only 1 from their opponents. They also won 23 total points, while Svitolina and Monfils collected 34. For Eala, it was a disappointing ending. But what happened after the final point was even more remarkable. Instead of walking away from the stadium to face the disappointment alone, Eala stepped into an extraordinary display of support. Filipino fans surrounded the young star as she left the court. Philippine flags filled the area. Chants of "Let's go, Alex" echoed through the grounds, and security personnel had to help guide her through the crowd. This level of attention was not completely new. Earlier in the season, Eala had experienced just how intense her growing popularity had become. At the Australian Open, fans crowded around her after a practice session and pushed her toward a wall, making it difficult for her to move. Eala later described the experience as dangerous, explaining that people behind the crowd could not see what was happening and continued pushing forward. So at the U.S. Open, security was there for a reason, and the demand surrounding Eala was enormous. Her matches had become major attractions, with organizers moving her onto larger courts and adding giant viewing screens. A grounds pass originally priced at $65 was reportedly being resold for $363. Even Auger-Aliassime noticed the difference. The world number 4 joked that, despite being older than Eala, she was the one carrying the crowd and bringing the massive fan base. The attention showed how dramatically Eala's career had changed. Only a couple of years earlier, she was still trying to qualify for Grand Slam main draws. Now, she needed security just to move through the tournament grounds. The mixed doubles defeat could have ruined the night. For Eala, it became something completely different. Just hours after the loss, she appeared at Arthur Ashe Stadium wearing a stylish yellow jacket and enjoying the atmosphere as a spectator. She was there for a special exhibition featuring Roger Federer and his longtime rival Andy Roddick. Federer, the 45-year-old Swiss legend, was making his return to the U.S. Open for the first time since 2022. Eala watched from the royal box alongside Norwegian star Casper Ruud and her mixed doubles partner Auger-Aliassime. Federer defeated Roddick 6-3 in front of a packed stadium. For Eala, the moment carried a special meaning. Before she became one of tennis's rising stars, she was simply a young fan who loved the sport. And now, after experiencing her own disappointment on the same day, she was sitting among tennis stars and watching one of the greatest players in history perform. There was another connection too. Federer had watched Eala play Jasmine Paolini at Wimbledon earlier in the year. Now the roles were almost reversed. Eala was the one watching Federer. It was a reminder that tennis can be bigger than one result. Eala had just experienced a crushing defeat, yet she was still able to enjoy the sport that brought her there in the first place. That ability to move forward may be one of the most important parts of her story. Eala entered the U.S. Open with a career-high ranking of number 18, making her the highest-ranked Southeast Asian woman in tennis history, according to the source. She had already reached the second week of Wimbledon, won a WTA Tour title, defeated elite opponents, and established herself as a major figure in the sport. Her U.S. Open mixed doubles campaign ended with a loss, but her bigger journey was continuing. She was scheduled to compete in the Stars of the Open exhibition on August 27th against her friend Iva Jovic, another young player she has known since the 2022 U.S. Open, where Eala won the girls' singles title. Jovic had defeated Eala twice earlier in 2026 at the French Open and Queen's Club, giving their upcoming exhibition another layer of interest. Yet the most powerful image from Eala's U.S. Open experience may not have come from a winning point. It was the sight of thousands of Filipino supporters waiting for her after defeat. They did not come only to celebrate victories. They stayed when she lost. That support showed how much Eala has come to represent for Filipino fans around the world. Her journey has become more than tennis results. It has become a source of pride and connection for a community that follows her wherever she competes. And that may be the real story of Eala at the 2026 US Open. The mixed doubles loss lasted less than an hour. The support that followed could last a lifetime. Eala's story is still being written, and at just 21 years old, the biggest chapters may still be ahead.